What's up, guys? Welcome back to Feed-Based Interactions. Between episodes, did a little bit, quite a bit of resource processing. I got these upgraded to tungsten steel coils, so we can use the nichrome for other stuff. I got rid of a few more of these MV machines. We're getting there slowly. Did have to add a second distillery onto this because we were starting to use too much diesel with the running the CEFs and running the ore processing all at the same time. I also added a advanced plasma arc furnace, so we can push our ore up to 16 times now, I think it is. It's mostly just little bits and pieces. I prepared an area for us to work in today, expanded the base out just a little bit. We're going to build our Photofission nuclear reactor and turbines here. We'll get back to that in a moment. Had to expand our starlight out a little bit because we ran out again because of the diesel production. I went from I think I only had 3 light wells up to 9, and it seems fine for now. And the one other thing that I can think of that I did is I added some more crafting processors. Just 3 co-processors and a 64K crafting storage. And I think these should be sufficient. I haven't seen any recipes that have made me think that I need more storage than 64K. But if it happens, it's pretty easy to do. And I got rid of all the rest of the barrels that were in here. So these are the only things that are still connected to the old logistics system now. And finally, I finished making up the emeraldic crystal blocks. I made up most of the stuff for a large steam turbine, for one. We still need the rotor holder and the energy output, but those need things that we haven't used before, so I figured I'd go through those on the video. So I think the turbines we're going to go with are these TerraSteel ones. As everything else in this pack, magic materials have really good durability, and this is 100% efficiency and 1.2 million durability. I've never actually used these rotors before, so we're going to be playing a lot of this kind of by ear. It's going to be a bit of an experimentation day to day. The first thing we're going to do is to build the Photofission Reactor. And we'll just make up a couple of buckets of uranium hexafluoride, figure out how much water we need to give it, how much fuel it goes through, and then we'll build a turbine and see how many turbines we'll need to use everything that we're producing from the reactor, assuming that we can sustain it. Just need the blueprint. Not all the way over here, isn't it? Nice. We have to power this with a laser. Throw a plug here quickly. Ow. Oh, did this get charged in my inventory? It's like, there's no way this isn't set up yet. Can I maybe get away with Spectre coil for this? Maybe. Let's try Spectre coil for now. Okay, so we need to put water in here and fuel in here. Buckets will definitely be enough to test this out. I don't know how many sides you have to have surrounded by water for the accuracy accumulator to work at its best. So I always just do all of them. And that's not enough for it to actually run. Oh no, that is enough for it to run. So that very quickly gave us 201 buckets of steam and used 3 millibuckets of uranium hexafluoride. Okay. I had the feeling that the fluid conduits might not have the throughput for this. I don't actually know what the throughput of these are. Never really needed to question it. Okay, so we filled this whole buffer. It's 873 buckets. And we've only used 13 uranium hexafluoride. Okay, it doesn't look like it keeps processing when it's full, which was something I was a little bit concerned of, so I'm glad it's not the case. It's one thing putting water in with those conduits, but I'm definitely not going to be able to transfer the steam fast enough. I think we're going to want lasers to transport the fluids in, maybe. Also just because it's going to be neater. These are just what, tungsten, atomic alloy, palace. Okay, that's not too bad. But while we're here, let's take a look at the... So I want to put an LUV rotor holder. Without the rotor holders, we only have a choice between high voltage, ludicrous voltage, and maximum voltage. Even if we could do this, there's no way we could use all the output. So high voltage isn't going to be enough. So we're going to use ludicrous voltage. And this isn't too bad. We just need a bunch of chrome plates and some vanadium gallium cable, as well as some yttrium barium cuprate wire. I haven't made up the vanadium gallium yet, but I did make up the yttrium cuprate because I knew we were going to need a lot of it. And this is 16 times wire, 7 of them. And there wasn't anything like particularly difficult about making this, to be honest. Just needs tungsten steel coils in a blast furnace with yttrium barium cuprate dust. Just needs yttrium, copper, and barium. The yttrium comes from centrifuging rare earths, which we were doing for something earlier. Barium we got from barite dust. We also get this from rare earths. It's coming from our ore processing, maybe. Yeah, looks like we were getting this for processing quartzite, most likely, and certs quartz. It wasn't too bad. It takes quite a long time to smelt up, but I've got 136 ingots of it, so I'm not too worried about that. And I do have some spare dust if we're going to need some more. But I don't have the vanadium gallium. This stuff, vanadium gallium ingots. This is just 3 vanadium and 1 gallium. And this is going to take a while to smelt. Luckily, we only need like 2 of this, I think. 1 of this, maybe. But I'll go put a couple of ingots through my EV blast furnace. So, okay, so I made up some lasers real quick. And we should have everything we need. Keep going. So we want the rotor holder. So we're going to need OUV machine hole, and we'll need one of these for the output as well. So I just threw these through the assembler, just 8 chrome plates. We should be able to make 2 of these. Grab the quest, I suppose. And I mean, we should have the chrome gear. I threw that through as well. So how much of this do we need? 16x, so it's 8 ingots each. 16, 32, 48, 56. Kind of a lot. There's our 7 16x cables or wires. There's our rotor holder. And then what wire do we need? We need a vanadium gallium cable for the energy output hatch. So bottom layer is all casings. Do I want to keep these raised up? No, I think I build these right here. Okay, yep, that's right. And then we can put in rotor. Okay, and it's been a really long time since I've used these lasers. I need a compass. So this one only out of adjacent blocks. This one only into adjacent blocks. And then link those two. And this is full of steam and this is turning on. So we don't really seem to be producing it fast enough. And I think that's because we're not getting the water fast enough. Okay, so I put 2 more aqueous accumulators in here. Let's see how that goes. It is with the mallet again. So the tank does seem to be keeping up. How's this looking? It is still getting some issues. I think a bigger input hatch might actually solve the problem. This is what, 835 buckets. How big's the EV one? 128 buckets. This also seems to run like regardless of the fact that we're not using the output at the moment. I wouldn't mind trying to figure out a way to move the water. Well, I mean, I could just use lasers to move the water back, but the problem seemed to be that I was like moving the fluid across. The tank was getting full. The machine was starting and then it was emptying the tank instantly and it was taking a second to like start moving fluid again. That seemed like it could be the problem anyway. Only in. It seems to fill pretty much instantly. No, I keep running out of steam. Because the machine empties. I think I need to buffer this because this stops running whenever this tank fills up. And then it takes a second before it starts running again, which is stopping this from getting a chance to properly spin up. But let the turbine spin up to full speed and we're getting just under 11,000 EU a tick, which is probably about a third of an amp of LUV power. So 3 of these would give me an amp of LUV power. Bearing in mind that LUV is 4 amps of high voltage, which is 16 amps of extreme voltage. That's pretty good from one of these, and supposedly you need more than one to max one of these out. We do go through fuel pretty slowly. Obviously I need to go back to the only way that I've managed to get this to run at these sorts of speeds. I should soft mallet this because I'm just wasting fuel now. The only way this is currently running is by I filled up a buffer tank with steam and then used both the output and the buffer tank to fill up this input hatch. So I'm going to have to put some more thought into the logistics behind running this thing. Take a look at what pipes are available and see if I can figure out a better way to transfer everything. Okay, so I moved the laser around the back to try and hide it, but the power has to come in from the back. Let's knock a hole in my wall. I don't know if I like that, but it'll do for now. I prefer it to just having it sitting in the middle here, and I'm less like, well, I don't think it's possible for me to hurt myself with it like this, which is nice. And I hooked up a laser from the output to the input, and that keeps the water filled up. The problem that I'm running into seems to be that the output hatch fills. These machines aren't good at stopping and starting, these modular machines. The output hatch fills, it stops because the output hatch is full. Then the hatch empties pretty much instantly, but then you have to wait like a second or so before the machine starts running again. But in that time, this machine has gone through all of the steam and then it starts slowing down. So I think the solution is actually just to build more. So I'm going to build some more turbines. I don't know whether these can stack and share blocks or not. I'm assuming you could stack them on top of each other to save on some blocks. The only problem with that is I'm probably going to have to make more yttrium, barium, cuprate, but it's not the end of the world. A little bit of reading, and it suggested you can run 4 of these off of one Photofission Reactor. So that's the plan for now. These can wall share, and you could fit 1, 2, and 2 more on top of it. Could bring this ceiling up because there's like wiring space up here, but there's no room above it. If I brought the ceiling up, I could stack 4 on top of each other, then have it like 4 to 4. And I could eventually move this over and have more and have each of these be a stack. Now I'm just going to try building like 1 or 2 more and see whether or not it can keep up. We're also going to have to look at storage because it's over an amp of IV power. But if we use our energy outputs, it can put out 4 amps. So I'm thinking maybe using IV outputs is better. Because otherwise we'd just have to step it down anyway, because I can't make... I never remember what they're called. Lapotron crystals. So it's expensive, but I can probably make the Lapotronic energy orbs. The IV ones, and these each store 100 million power EU. But the LUV ones need europium. Yeah, I can make all of this stuff. Literally. Yeah, I can't make the LUV ones because I need europium and I need fusion for that. So I think the plan might be to put IV energy hatches on them. And then store them in a 16x CEU full of these Lapotronic energy orbs. And these do craft, yeah, these craft up into the next version anyway when we do want to go up. And that should sort all of our power needs for a while. So like I say, last night I was starting to run out of diesel with my production, running everything. So I want to supplement this with something else. And I think this power would do us all the way up until we start doing like probably like our second new fusion reactor, assuming we need that many in this pack, and then start using plasma gens. We are starting to get to the tier of the pack where I'm a little bit less familiar with everything. And part of the reason that I started like recording these videos is because it gives me motivation to actually like finish a pack. Okay, I set up 2 more turbines. These are kind of expensive. This casing, regardless of what it calls itself, isn't just normal steel, solid steel machine casings. It's not solid steel machine casings. Steel turbine casings. This requires magnesium plates. Right, it's the blue steel frames, sorry. Magnesium's kind of cheap. The blue steel frames, though, require blue steel and a fair amount of it, which is gold, brass, steel, and black steel, which is nickel, bronze. And it takes quite a while to smelt up. But, let's see how it goes with 3 of them. All of the... As far as I know, once these start running, like the amount of water that I get back from these should be enough to get this, to keep this running. So as long as it can use the steam somewhat as fast as it gets output into this hatch so the machine doesn't stop, we should be okay, I think. And I put them all on IV output hatches now. So we turn them all on. Yeah, we're getting the same problem. And is this stopping them from... Very slightly, it looks like. Yeah, I think if I do put a 4th one of these on there, then these will run pretty much perfectly. Yeah, I guess I'll craft up 1 more. Okay, so I stacked up a 4th one. I guess moment of truth. Does it work with 4 of them? Can I hit this one? I can't. Looking a little bit more promising. It's still slowly filling up though. I don't know if that's going to cause a problem. Okay, so it just filled up. So they do blip for a moment when it fills up. It's a really awkward way for these to work, I have to say. Like maybe if I just put huge input hatches on these, like I only have HVs on most of this one has an EV. Maybe if I put like LUV input hatches on there and just so that I was storing enough. To make them LUV 512 buckets. Maybe if they had that much, then it wouldn't be a problem when this resets, but for the most part, it's running constantly. Just a little blip. There it goes. Yeah, I think the only way to handle this steam is, I don't think I would, at the speed it's producing, because every millibucket of this is like, I don't fully remember, but I think it's like 200 buckets of steam or something like that for every, in fact it was bigger than 67 buckets of steam for every millibucket of fuel we're going through, so I don't think we'd support, maybe you can support more, maybe you can support 5. I have to do a bit more reading. Could fit another one up here technically, just about. And just letting them run back up to speed again, because last time that I let one get up to speed was before I switched the hatch out, and I just want to make sure that hasn't changed how much it outputs. I assume it doesn't. Okay, so at full rotor speed we are producing 10,834 times 4, so that's 43,000 EU a tick, and IV is 8192. So yeah, it's a little bit over 5 amps of IV power from 4 of them. There's a couple of machines in my ore processing line. I probably wouldn't mind upgrading the thermal centrifuges, for example. Like, I put resources in before I started recording, and that was hours ago, and they're still processing through all this uranium. I'm just centrifuging the uranium down straight away. We have 828 uranium dust. And 12 plutonium-244. Which, before we can get into fusion, we need to centrifuge down again to 241. But at least this is a 20% chance plus 3% a tier. So at IV, this would be what, like 26%? I think we only need like one of these to get started with fusion, maybe. It's a plate, right? Yeah, to make the fusion reactor computer Mark 1, we need a plutonium-241 plate. Still a way away from this, but I'm just kind of thinking about it for the future. So we need wetware first. So I think what we'll do is we'll work on an IV battery buffer. And I guess as it empties, we will turn these on. I'm not sure whether you can use like a comparator or something on a CEU. If you can use a comparator on it, you could turn these on every time power gets down to about like 20% and then turn it off when it gets up to about 80%. So I was trying to like set up auto crafting for these, but of course they all have NBT data. And now I can't even get these energy crystals out of the system. I picked one up a minute ago and now it won't let me pick them up again. I don't even know. I can pick other stuff up. Not this though. Can't shift click it. Can't right click it. Can't left click it. I don't know why the autocraft can handle like broken, like half broken GregTech tools and all that sort of substitution. But it comes to an energy crystal and it's completely baffled. I'm going to end the episode here for today. I need to figure out how I'm going to get those crystals out of my ME system. I'll probably have to use a chest and a fuzzy card or something, but at least we got the messing around with the turbines over and done with for the most part. I had hoped to get a little bit more done, but it's taken ages to get all of this set up today. So what I'll probably do is between episodes, I'll try and figure out battery power. And then if I do anything else, it's probably going to be ore processing. I've run out of redstone. Probably have to upgrade those thermal centrifuges if I'm going to keep putting all of the ore through it, which I am at the moment, pretty much. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And I'll see you again next time when... I think next time we'll start looking at some IV machines and stuff. And then maybe make the Aurelia crystal for the last exoplanet. And just get that out of the way. Because if it's anywhere near as laggy as Euclides Prime, then I'm probably going to have to end up exploring it when I'm not recording. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.